afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to St. Paul's Tullai Field in today's MIAA A-Conference first-round playoff matchup between the Gilman Greyhounds and your St. Paul's Crusaders. In accordance with CDC guidelines and for the safety and protection of everyone in the community, we ask all spectators, regardless of your vaccination status, to remain masked at all times while on campus. Please note that bathroom facilities are located by the parking area to the east of the field near Falls Road. And now, please rise for our national anthem.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome into Tullai Field on the campus of the St. Paul's School for an MIAA A-Conference Boys Lacrosse first-round matchup between the St. Paul's Crusaders and the Gilman Greyhounds. Connor Newcomb here with you for this one. We thank you so much for tuning in here today as we've got a rematch of a game that was played on this field 6 days ago, a game that Gilman won 11-5 on the road, but it wasn't enough to get themselves a home game in the rematch. So we're right back here for a first-round matchup, 8th-seeded St. Paul's, 9th-seeded Gilman to kick off the MIAA A-Conference playoffs in the 2021 Boys Lacrosse bracket. The winner of this one will have a tough test coming up on Saturday. They will travel on the road and take on number 1 seed and undefeated McDonough. But obviously that is not on anybody's minds yet. First all right now, you try to win this game, get yourself a playoff win, and get into the quarterfinal round. So St. Paul's with an immediate 1-minute penalty here against the junior defender Keegan Tracy, the Army commit. Heads to the box, and an EMO for Gilman on their first possession of the day. So we'll see if the Greyhounds can strike first here. In the road gray uniforms today, St. Paul's in the white home jerseys. Badley with a shot. He scores, and Gilman finds the back of the cage first in this one. Clayton Badley with a goal. The freshman makes it 1-0 Greyhounds. Badley, who has come in his first year and been really such a huge part of this Gilman top attacking group. And he definitely did have a little bit of a quiet game back here on Friday. Did get a late goal, but St. Paul's did shut him down a bit. But he gets the first goal of the day, and now it's St. Paul's face-off win as Daniel Davis comes away with it. So we'll see if the Crusaders can answer. Both these teams finished with 3 wins in the conference this year. St. Paul's went 3-6. Gilman went 3-7. And actually, because of a postponement and then eventual cancellation of one of St. Paul's games, that's a big reason why they ended up getting to host this first-round playoff game. If that game gets played and they lose and both teams are 3-7, as there's a nice save there from Kyle Morris. Rebound is loose, in front, touch pass goal, and goes past the goal, and it will go out and stay with St. Paul's. But of course, if St. Paul's had played that 10th game and lost, both these teams would have been 3-7. And since Gilman came in here and won last week, they would have actually had the tiebreaker and would have hosted this game. But instead, the Crusaders do get the number 8 seed and get to try and get some revenge right back here at Tullai Field. A couple of good chances there for St. Paul's on their first possession. Trailing 1-0 after the Clayton Badley goal to open things up for Gilman. They go behind the cage, feed in front. Nice feed, great save by Morris. He denies Braden Klossner on the doorstep. Kyle Morris, the junior goalkeeper, 2 big saves early. And here comes Gilman quickly the other way. As Warry Calhoun able to pull it out. And the offense begins with Oscar Wollison. Wollison had 2 goals in the win on Friday here, including the opening tally for the Greyhounds in that one. Gilman once again going with a different set of throwback jerseys today. They went with the throwback blues on Friday, got the grays on today. So a couple of number changes for the Greyhounds from their usual roster. Charlie Pope, the big attacker, is once again wearing number 44 today. He's usually in the number 1 uniform. Moving left. Big hit. And Wollison holds on with 20 to shoot. Behind the cage. In front, nice pass, bounce shot, and a save is made. Max Watkinson with his first stop of the day. Junior goalkeeper and Loyola commit makes a big key stop in goal to keep it 1-0. And Noah Chismar is going to bring it across for St. Paul's. This St. Paul's team, it was really a back and forth first quarter back on Friday. And to be honest, the first couple minutes of the second quarter were pretty back and forth. And then St. Paul's, right in the middle of the game, went almost 30 minutes of game time without scoring. It led to a 7-0 run for Gilman, as that one took a deflection, and it's going to go out of play and stay with St. Paul's. It was a 4-4 game between these two teams early in the second quarter on Friday. All of a sudden, you looked up in the fourth quarter, it was 11-4 Gilman, and it ended up being an 11-5 final as St. Paul's got a late goal to end that goalless streak, but it was obviously too late to make any difference in the game. Up top, they go to Jake Bear. Now they give it up behind the cage. Up top for Michael Smythe. Smythe fires and scores. Top shelf for the sophomore Michael Smythe. And he ties things up at 1.
Gilman 1.
What a laser that was from Smythe right there, who had 1 goal in the loss last Friday. And he gets another one right here against the Greyhounds. Nothing that Kyle Morris could do in goal right there. Couldn't have put it in the goal with his hand, walked up to the crease and placed it in there any better. This is another face-off win for the sophomore Daniel Davis. So after the early Gilman goal from Clayton Badley, good start, good response since then from St. Paul's. Here's Cabe Clark to start the offense once again. Moving right, looking for space, and check to the ground, and a flag's going to fly. As an EMO coming right here for St. Paul's. Remy Reynolds is going to get sent to the bench on that one. He's the defensive leader for this Gilman team. Reynolds, the senior Rutgers commit, is going to head to the bench, and it will be a 30-second extra man opportunity for the Crusaders. And not only do you go a man down, but you lose your best defender as well as Reynolds goes off. And now a really key spot for St. Paul's to try and take their first lead of the day. Up top for Smythe. He's got the first goal of the day. See if this offense can get it working here. Behind the cage, Smythe looking for that same shooting space, and he threw it away. Brody Atkinson has to run it down, and now there's only 10 seconds left on the EMO timer. Chismar, a little bit of space, gives it up for Smythe. Back to Clark. Clark feeds in front, pass was picked off. Back to even strength as Gilman's headed the other way. What a play there by Cap Reynolds to take it away. The senior defender makes a huge play for the Greyhounds. Now they go to Worry Calhoun, and he'll back it out. So Gilman was able to score on its EMO. St. Paul's was not. And we're tied up at 1 here halfway through the first quarter in an MIAA A-Conference first-round playoff matchup. Moving right, low to high. Shot was knocked down before it even got in on Watkinson. And it's still loose. Gilman will pick it up and keep it alive. Feet in front, Badley fires it wide. It'll stay on this end with 23 on the shot clock. .20 on the shot clock here for Gilman. They go to Charlie Pope, the big senior. Scored a filthy one-handed goal in the game here last week. Now 8 to shoot, open space and a goal. Give that one to Chase Brody as he makes it 2-1 Greyhounds. Brody, the junior, who had a big game last Friday against this team, had a hat trick, 3 goals against the Crusaders here at Tullai Field just 6 days ago. And Brody fires one home again. A little bit of a tough angle, but he got it by Watkinson, and Gilman takes the lead back 2-1. Of course, I keep mentioning the matchup last Friday in the regular season, but you know it's important to this matchup, and it can tell you a lot because you got the same teams playing in the same place just 6 days later, and this one obviously means a lot more. It's the first round of the playoffs. You don't want your season to end, but you can learn a lot from two teams playing just 6 days after they just met for the first time. Gilman eventually comes away with that face-off after the turnover, and he stepped out of bounds. Sean Collins just didn't know where his feet were right there, and the sophomore defender steps out, turns it over back to St. Paul's. But despite the two teams playing 6 days ago right here, it is not the last game that each of these teams played. They both finished off the regular season on Tuesday, as did the rest of the league. And it was not a great day for either of these squads in their Tuesday games. Gilman fell 14-7 to McDonough as the Eagles finished off their perfect 10-0 season. And St. Paul's was really romped in that game, 19-2 on the road against their rival Boys Latin. So they're looking to pick themselves up from that heavy defeat on Tuesday. Here's Jake Baer. Nice pass, found the open man, and a low shot goes wide as Klausner was looking to tie things up. 39 still on the shot clock for St. Paul's here. Colin Russell up top. Now he gives it behind the cage. 20 on the timer. Clark. Russell. Back to Cabe Clark now. He was really quiet among many other guys on the offensive end on Friday. Russell inside. Nice feed, but they dropped the pass, and Gilman able to pick it up. Shot clock resets. Klausner has it. Gets open in front, and it's no goal as the ref's going to blow it dead. And I believe a timeout was called. 3:43 to go in the first quarter. We got a good one brewing in the first round of the playoffs. It's Gilman 2 and St. Paul's 1.
Timeout, St. Paul's.
3:43 to go in quarter number one from Tullai Field. The score, Gilman 2 and St. Paul's 1 in an MIAA A-Conference first-round matchup on the boys lacrosse side. As early in this one, Clayton Badley and Chase Brody have goals for the Greyhounds. And on the other side for St. Paul's, Michael Smythe with the goal for the Crusaders. That is where we stand here in this one. Coming out of a timeout called by head coach Trey Whitty, the fourth-year head man for this St. Paul's program. He called timeout kind of before Klausner came away with the ball in that scrum in front of goal. And that is just physicality and grit right there. And we are tied up at 2. Cabe Clark, what a goal. He just powered his way in and scored to tie things up.
St. Paul's goal by Cabe Clark, assisted by number 22, Michael Smythe.
Clark, the junior, puts one home, and we've seen him, held at bay the last couple of games for the Crusaders, but he is such a key part of this St. Paul's midfield, and right there he shows what he can do when he gets deep near the goal line as well. And Clark ties things up at 2, although Gilman immediately wins the faceoff. They go to Pope. He's got space. He gets checked, and he lost it. We know how physical Charlie Pope can be, but sometimes when you got 4 defenders on you, it's not going to work out, and it didn't right there for the senior. But St. Paul's turns it over. And then Gilman gives it right back. A couple of key defensive plays, and it goes over to the Greyhounds. Back and forth we go. And now we got a whistle. And we'll see what the call is here. It was eventually Cap Reynolds who came away with it for Gilman. And there was a flag against Gilman.
30-second penalty.
Tucker Hebert gets the call, 30 seconds for pushing, so an EMO coming here for St. Paul's. Their second of the day. They are 0 for 1 so far in this one. Didn't even get a shot off in their first extra man opportunity. They turned it over. Cap Reynolds made a really nice interception on a pass that came from behind goal. So a chance for St. Paul's to take the lead. For what would be their first lead of the day. Clark behind the goal. Atkinson to Smythe, back to Clark. He had the last goal to tie things at 2. Smythe open, goes low to high and scores.
St. Paul's goal.
A laser from Michael Smythe. And the Crusaders are on top 3-2. Smythe with his second goal of the season. Of course, an uncommitted player because he is still a sophomore. But when talking to head coach Trey Whitty earlier this season, he called Michael Smythe a high-level Division I player whenever he decides to make that commitment. Of course, he will stay uncommitted until his junior year when he'll get the chance to make that choice where he wants to play his college lacrosse. But Whitty pretty sure that he's going to be playing at the high D1 level, as there's a face-off violation against St. Paul's, so Gilman's going to get a chance to tie it right back up as J.J. Brummett comes away with it. These haven't been two teams that have necessarily dominated the face-off dot this season. A couple of teams that have had their struggles, and it's been fairly even between the two on the face-off so far today, and it was a pretty similar story, although Gilman did have the advantage back on Friday. Oscar Wollison will take it down behind the goal. Only a couple possessions left here in this pretty exciting first quarter so far. Wollison jump shot, spinning, and it goes wide. .30 on the shot clock. Nice feet in front. And that shot sails way over top of the bar. That one came from Rory Calhoun. That was 5 or 6 feet over the bar. Excuse me, that was Wilkerson on the shot there. And Pope couldn't catch it. Ridgely looking to go pick it up. He's in a battle with Wollison. It's still loose. Pope is in there, and St. Paul's comes away with it. There goes David Ridgely the other way. He's looking to go one-on-one, and he gives it up, and he turns it over. Tough play there. Jacob Natoli just couldn't catch it. Wasn't a great pass from Ridgely. Had to go way up the ladder to even get his stick on it. And that could have been a big change of possession there, but it goes right back over to Gilman. And they get the clear from Remy Reynolds. Shot clock not a factor, as there are 35 seconds to go in this first quarter. And Gilman can hold for the last one and try and tie this thing up if they so choose. Pope with the physicality to his right. He gives it up. Nice defending there from Trey Wyatt. Now 12 on the clock in the quarter. Up top to Wollison with 5. Wollison's got to work. He goes left, gets some space, and fires it home. Oscar Wollison with 1.2 seconds remaining on the first quarter timer ties this game at 3. He was working one-on-one against the St. Paul's junior defender Owen Heyer, and he just moved to his left, got around him, and beat Watkinson high in the goal to knot this thing up. And that should be our score as we end our first 12-minute period here from Tullai Field. Back and forth we go as Wollison gets his first goal of the day. And that's going to do it for the first quarter. Playoff action, both these teams fighting to keep their seasons alive as Gilman and St. Paul's all knotted up at 3. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly for quarter number 2. Back here in quarter number 2 from Tullai Field, the campus of the St. Paul's School. 3-3, we're all knotted up between 8th-seeded St. Paul's and 9th-seeded Gilman in the first round of the MIAA A Conference Boys Lacrosse Tournament. Connor Newcomb here with you for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're all knotted up after one quarter of play as the second quarter starts with a Daniel Davis face-off win for the Crusaders, but they turn it over, and Gilman going to have the first possession of this second period. In that first quarter, 2 goals from Michael Smythe, 1 from Cabe Clark for St. Paul's. On the other side, Clayton Badley, Chase Brody, and Oscar Wollison each had 1 for the Gilman Greyhounds. Now Gilman trying to take that lead back. Oscar Wollison's goal came with just 1.2 seconds remaining in the first quarter. That tied this thing up at 3 right before the buzzer. .30 to shoot here for Gilman. A little bit of space for Wollison. He passes up a shooting opportunity. That one goes off the side of the post, and it will count as a shot on target, and that will reset the shot clock as Gilman was able to run it down. Wollison gives it up to Tucker Hebert. Hebert with a little bit of space. Up top, now they go out to the freshman James Meyer. First time we've seen him in possession today. Meyer working against Heyer. Heyer hits the turf, and Meyer threw it away. It's a race for it from Wilkerson, and he's going to just keep it in bounds. But that was almost disaster defensively for St. Paul's. Still 40 on the shot clock as it did reset earlier in this possession. Hebert. Nice defending there, one-on-one. Up top, shot, goal! Gilman's got the lead back. It's the freshman James Meyer, and it's 4-3 Greyhounds.
Gilman goal by Meyer. Gilman 4, St. Paul's 3.
So James Meyer scores, and now we flip the other way. Back-to-back goals from Gilman, one late in the first, one here early in the second, and the Greyhounds are back on top. We didn't see much of James Meyer in the game here on Friday, but he makes his presence felt right here with the go-ahead goal early in the second period. Another face-off win for J.J. Brummett, and he pulls it out smartly and gives it off to Warry Calhoun. A couple of true Fogos on each of these teams. Face-off, get-off, and Brummett's done a nice job so far today. The senior in the number 2 uniform for Gilman. Up top for Wilkerson, another talented freshman. Pope back in there, trying to power his way in. Feeds in front, and that pass got knocked up high in the air, and Gilman comes away with it with 35 on the shot clock. Space to shoot. What a save made by Watkinson. Stick save and a beauty for the junior. And he almost throws it away on the outlet. Tried to get it to Ridgely, and Hebert has it. Gilman took it right back. And St. Paul's inability to clear. Could it hurt him? It does. Clayton Badley with his second goal today, and Gilman has a 5-3 lead.
Gilman 5, St. Paul's 3.
Badley with another goal. He had the first one today for Gilman. He gets goal number 5 as well. And that's 3 in a row for the Greyhounds since St. Paul's took a 3-2 lead. Badley, one of the group of talented freshmen on this Greyhounds team, is now Will Odo, the number 2 face-off man. Number 11 in gray comes in there and gets himself his first face-off win of the day. Nice move there. As Warry Calhoun, the sophomore, was looking to break some ankles. Gilman with a chance to further extend the lead. 2-goal advantage is the largest for either team so far today. Here's Meyer. He had the go-ahead goal. Gives it up. Fired and scored! Wilkerson from way downtown, and it's 6-3 Gilman. The freshman, Jay Wilkerson, one of the most talented first-year players in the conference, makes it a 3-goal advantage. And back-to-back goals make that 3 goals in a row actually in this period from this freshman class for Gilman, which is going to be so good for so long for the Greyhounds. Meyer, Badley, and now Wilkerson make it 6-3, and head coach John Nostrand, in just his second season at the helm and the head coach of the Greyhounds, got to be very happy with the freshman class he has. As Gilman, though, throws that one away, St. Paul's has it back. Now maybe a chance here for the Crusaders, but they will back it out as Gavin Clary came away with that one and cleared it for St. Paul's. So can the Crusaders stop the bleeding here? You're starting to think about what happened in this matchup on Friday. St. Paul's went almost 30 minutes without scoring, allowed a 7-0 Gilman run. Right now it's a 4-0 run for the Greyhounds. And it's all been in the last about 5 minutes of game time. They got a goal in the final 2 seconds of the first quarter, and they've scored the first 3 here in the second period, in the first 5 minutes. That shot goes wide, and it'll stay with St. Paul's as Klausner was trying to bring the Crusaders 1 goal closer. Here's Michael Smythe, 2 goals already. Smythe fires and it's high. It'll stay with St. Paul's, 26 on the timer. Noah Chismar taking a lot of contact right now, slips himself in front, takes a hit and scores. Oh, Noah Chismar put it on the highlight tape as he gets one back for St. Paul's. The senior leader of this attacking unit, Noah Chismar, the Marquette commit, gets his first goal of the day, and it's now back to a 6-4 game, and he ends the 4-0 Gilman scoring run. Chismar, who did not find the back of the net in the 11-5 loss for St. Paul's to Gilman back on Friday, gets one to go right there. Of course, this team coming off that loss, then the 19-2 loss to Boys Latin on Tuesday. Trey Whitty's team has seemingly found a little bit of a new energy here today, but they still do trail by 2, although will take over after the face-off violation against Gilman. Chismar going for another, and he hits the crossbar. Inches away from cutting it to 1 and diving for it. Gilman's got the possession. Hustle play there from the Greyhounds. And they will get the possession back, much to the dismay of the pretty large St. Paul's supporter group here at Tullai Field. And now Gilman's offside, and it's going to go right back over to St. Paul's. Hold on, now the referees are going to come together to chat about this one. So they initially had called offside here, but it looks like the referees have changed their call. Said inadvertent whistle.
Inadvertent whistle.
And it's going to stay in possession of Gilman. That was Ethan Villamater who had made the great play, diving out of bounds to get the possession. And then he was the one who cleared it, and they initially called offside when he had the ball on his stick, but the far side referee overturned that call. That bounce shot goes wide. Another race for the possession. And it's going to go back to St. Paul's. Down there in the corner, it was the sophomore Gavin Clary who was all over it. Ridgely clears, and a chance for St. Paul's to cut it back to 1. Here's Jake Bear. He's been kind of quiet offensively so far today. Been a big part, though, of this St. Paul's team here in his junior season. Another Marquette commit that plays on this Crusaders first line. Pass to Chismar. He fires, and a save is made. Kyle Morris with a big stop. Outlets it to Villamater, and he couldn't pick it up, and they turn it over. Bear has it right back for St. Paul's. We'll see if they try to go quickly. Jacob Natoli. Klausner, and now they'll pull it out. So St. Paul's did a nice job to weather that 4-0 Gilman run. They got a goal back. They've had the last couple of possessions, but can't seem to get another goal. Chismar spinning. Working one-on-one, gives it off to Bear. Now it's Bear, and he fires wide. And we're going to get a timeout called here. 4:17 to go in the first half. 6-4, Gilman leads. The loser goes home, and winner keeps their season alive. Coming out of the Gilman timeout here, 4:17 to go in quarter number 2. Greyhounds 6, Crusaders 4 in an MIAA A-Conference first-round playoff matchup from Tullai Field. Feet in front, shot, and that one hit off something before it got into the goal. St. Paul's picks it up, though. Shot clock didn't reset because the shot hit a defender, so there's still 27 to shoot. Spin move. That was an awkward angle to shoot from, and Morris made the stop. Connor Newcomb here with you from Tullai Field, but thank you so much for joining us. The 8 versus 9 matchup in the first round of the playoffs as a big-time check from behind there from Klausner, but Gilman keeps the possession as it went right to Cap Reynolds. Again, the 8 versus 9 seeds, the winner travels and gets McDonough on Saturday. The undefeated Eagles, the number 1 seed at 10-0 this year. As everybody in this bracket, all 11 teams in the A-Conference in the bracket this year. As somebody's looking to stop Calvert Hall's 3-year run as the MIAA A-Conference champions. Here's Charlie Pope. Backing his man down, jumps, fires, and the save is made. Watkinson with another stop, but Gilman picks it up. This one of 3, you could call them play-in games / first-round matchups in the A-Conference tournament that are being played today. This is the 8-9 matchup here between Gilman and St. Paul's. We've got the 7 versus 10 seed, Severn hosting Mount St. Joe, also going on at the moment. The winner of that one travels to Spalding in the quarterfinal round. As Brody behind the cage, still 50 to shoot, and he turns it over. Turned it over right there. And it's scooped up by St. Paul's, and here goes Ridgely. The other matchup of the day is the 11 seed John Carroll traveling and playing the 6 seed Calvert Hall, which was quite a surprise. The top 5 seeds got byes this year to the quarterfinal round, and the 3-time defending champion Calvert Hall Cardinals were not one of those teams. They finished at 6-4 in a 3-way tie with Loyola in the standings. 3-way tie with Loyola and with Boys Latin in the standings, but Calvert Hall lost the tiebreaker, so they were the team that didn't get the bye, and they have to play a first-round matchup. Granted, it is against winless John Carroll, but still a sight to see them go from the perennial number 1 seed to the 6th seed in the tournament this year. Here's Chismar, double team, still fires the shot. It was knocked down in front. Sean Collins got a piece of it, but it's going to stay, it looks like, with St. Paul's with 23 to shoot. And there's going to be a too many men on the field penalty against Gilman. So a 30-second penalty as Rory Calhoun's going to go off. And the 3rd EMO of the day for St. Paul's. They're 0 for 2 so far. Both have been just 30-second penalties that they've had to work with. See if they can cut this lead back down to 1. Shot. That one goes wide as Smythe was looking to make it a 1-goal game. So mentioned Calvert Hall playing a game as well against John Carroll. The winner will travel to St. Mary's on Saturday for the quarterfinal. And that shot saved off the stick of Chismar, and Kyle Morris makes another stop. And here comes Cap Reynolds the other way. Fakes the pass and then threw it away. Tried to get a little too tricky, and he missed badly. It goes back to St. Paul's. The only quarterfinal matchup that is set already is the 4 versus 5 matchup, which we know will be played on Saturday. It'll be 5 seed Boys Latin and 4 seed Loyola. Both those teams went 6-4 this year. Nice pass in front, extra pass, another extra pass. Whistle blows. And Trey Whitty called a timeout. Man, oh man, it hurts to take away that good of a scoring chance from your team. But with 41.2 seconds to go in the half, St. Paul's will have the possession, but Coach Whitty might be kicking himself after that one. 21.2 seconds to go in half number one. Connor Newcomb back here with you from Tullai Field. Our score is Gilman 6 and St. Paul's 4 in this first round playoff matchup. Coming out of a St. Paul's timeout that Coach Trey Whitty called really right before St. Paul's kind of got out of a double team and had themselves on the doorstep for what looked like it would have been an easy goal to make it 6-5. So let's see if they can make up for it and score anyway. But Smythe does not. His shot was stopped, and Morris picks it up. And we'll see if not getting a goal there comes up huge at any point in this game. Although there's a turnover, St. Paul's coming the other way once again. 10 seconds in the half. Switch of fields. Chismar, 5 to shoot. Quadruple team. Chismar trying to give it up, gets knocked to the turf, and that's going to do it for the first half from Tullai Field. Both defenses really stepping up, especially late in that second quarter. And as we hit halftime, our score is Gilman 6 and St. Paul's 4. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly for the second half of action to see which team can continue their 2021 season. Welcome back into Tullai Field. We're getting you set for the second half of action here in the MIAA A Conference Boys Lacrosse Playoffs. The 8-9 matchup, 8th-seeded St. Paul's hosting 9th-seeded Gilman. Our halftime score, Gilman with a 6-4 lead, and we're just about set to go here in half number 2. Connor Newcomb with you here for this one. We thank you so much for tuning in. It is a 6-4 lead for the Greyhounds, but it is the Crusaders who will start with the first possession of the second half. In that first half for Gilman, 5 different goal scorers scored their 6 goals, as they got 2 goals from Clayton Badley. He was the only multi-goal scorer. Other than that, Brody, Wollison, Meyer, and Wilkerson each had 1 for the Greyhounds in the half. Chismar taking a lot of contact, and he draws the flag. In the first half for St. Paul's, they had Smythe get 2 goals, and then Cade Clark and Noah Chismar had the other 2 for the Crusaders. Smythe fakes a pass, gives it behind the cage. They'll get another EMO when this stoppage of play happens. And here comes the flag. It's going to be a hold against Gilman a minute into this third quarter, and another good chance for St. Paul's to cut this to 1. It's been a 6-4 game pretty much for the final penalty. 6 or 7 minutes of the second quarter. We sat at 6-4, and it's still where we sit, as the penalty is going to go against Ethan Villamater for a hold. 30 seconds for St. Paul's. So far they are 0 for 3 on the man-up opportunities today. They've all been 30-second penalties, and here's another one of the half-minute variety. See if this time they can make something happen. These are the opportunities you got to cash in on if you want to win a playoff game. Clark behind the goal. Now Smythe with some shooting space. Decides not to shoot, gives it up, and a shot was stopped by Kyle Morris. He went low to make the big-time save, and we're now at even strength as St. Paul's now 0 for 4 on the EMOs today. Warrie Calhoun brings it the other way, and now Gilman has a chance to extend their lead. It was a 3-2 game St. Paul's led back in the first quarter, and then Oscar Wollison got a goal with 1.2 seconds remaining in the first quarter to tie it at 3. Gilman then opened the second quarter with 3 straight goals in the first 4 minutes to take a 6-3 lead. St. Paul's got 1 back from Chismar in the middle of the second quarter, and that is where we stand, as that was a gutsy save made by Watkinson, as he took the brunt of that, and then he makes a second save. As Pope came out of the pack, fired it. Don't know how Watkinson could have even seen it, but he made back-to-back saves right there for the junior Loyola Maryland goalkeeper commit. And now St. Paul's will look to clear, and they threw it away. Big hit there. We'll see who comes up with this one. There's a big ground ball, and Gilman has it. Eventually found its way into the stick of the sophomore Hayden Carpenter for the Greyhounds. Now St. Paul's trying to force a turnover of their own. Another scrum for the ground ball here. And it will go to St. Paul's. Smythe fakes the handoff and trying to set up this offense. And a little scoreless drought for both of these teams. St. Paul's had a long scoreless drought back on Friday in this matchup of almost 30 minutes of game time. Can't have one of those right now or anything close, as that shot goes wide. And it'll stay with the Crusaders, as that's going to be Jacob Natoli, the junior Marquette commit, who's going to go pick it up to get the offense rolling again with 45 seconds on the shot clock. Chismar, 1 goal already today, had the last one for St. Paul's. Worked his way through 3 defenders to score that one back in the second quarter. Now he gives it up in front, and that pass was knocked away. Now picked up by Villamater. And here comes Gilman. No resistance, but a save made. Watkinson with a point-blank stop. And back the other way come the Crusaders. Trey Wyatt gives it up. Natoli extra pass. That shot was knocked down, but Jake Baer is going to clean up the ground ball. And now St. Paul's will slow it down a bit. That was the junior Trey Wyatt who was streaking the other way, and he might have had shooting space if he wanted to try and pick up his first goal. But instead passed it off, and St. Paul's couldn't get a shot on Cage. Clark. Atkinson gives it up. Gets it back, and a flag flies against Gilman. Up top to Chismar. Chismar firing wide. And once again, it'll be the second EMO of the quarter for St. Paul's and their fifth chance of the day. Again, they are 0 for 4 on the man-up opportunities today. I mean, this game, the way it's going right now, this game might come down to whether or not St. Paul's can convert here. But of the 5 EMOs today, this is the first of the 1-minute variety, as Gilman sophomore defender Sean Collins has been sent off for a minute. So a man up here for St. Paul's. Can they finally convert on the EMO? A little bit of space. They go to Clark, who operates behind the cage on these. Open space, and that shot went way high from Smythe. It'll stay with the Crusaders. That shot, and a save is made. Morris stopped that one, so St. Paul's does get a fresh shot clock as they pick it up on the rebound. Smythe. Chismar, they're feeding it around up top. Back to Noah Chismar. That's Smythe's spot, and he fires it off the side of the post. Again, a reset shot clock, but there's only 9 seconds on the penalty time. Now 5 more seconds for St. Paul's, a man up. Up to Bear, and we are back to even strength. Feed in front, bounce shot, saved again. Smythe scoops it out to Bear, and again a new shot clock. So St. Paul's now 0 for 5 on the EMO. Bear fires off the crossbar. Morris might have gotten a piece of that with his stick as well. And St. Paul's is just peppering the Gilman junior goalie Kyle Morris with shots right now. And he is coming up big time and time again. Just killed off a minute-long penalty, but the Crusaders still in possession with 65 seconds to work with. Can Cape Clark make a move one-on-one? Shakes Calhoun. Behind the goal. Can they find a cutter? Oh, and Smythe was wide open. He just whiffed on the catch. Would have had a point-blank chance. Now Clark fires low, and that goes wide. You got to feel like if St. Paul's keeps shooting, one of these is going to go in. That was almost an errant pass. Nice one-handed catch by the junior Jake Baer. Gets a screen from Clark. Baer going right. Baer fires, hit off a defender, and it'll stay with St. Paul's. And the shot clock reads 24. Cape Clark's going to come out. They'll make a substitution here for the final 20 seconds of this possession. They got Natoli back into the game with 15. Natoli goes by Calhoun, fakes a pass, gets some space. Now 10 to shoot. St. Paul's got to go quick. Chismar bounces one, that goes wide, and it's going to roll out with 1 on the shot clock. And St. Paul's just going to drop it in the corner and take the shot clock violation.
Shot clock violation against St. Paul.
I mean, what a defensive possession, and an extended one at that it was for the Greyhounds, and somehow they come out of it with the possession and still a 6-4 lead. Nice job on the sideline by Remy Reynolds to get himself into the offensive zone. Reynolds, a senior Rutgers commit, will join a Scarlet Knights team that got itself into the men's Division I NCAA tournament. Made it on the bubble. And this would be a killer right here, you feel like, if St. Paul's really dominated the first 6 minutes of this third quarter, doesn't score, and then Gilman gets one. Here's Tucker Hebert. Hebert moving right, finds Wallison, who dropped the pass. Able to pick it up though, and now 20 on the shot clock for Gilman. Wallison looking for his opening here. Working one-on-one. Now goes around Tracy, and he whiffed on the shot attempt. 7 on the shot clock as the ball is loose, picked up by Hebert. Now 4 to shoot. Hebert's got to fire 1, 2 to shoot, and he'll just dump it into the corner. And it's back-to-back shot clock violations, one taken by each team. This score line was 6-4 about halfway through the second quarter. We now have 3:15 to go in the third quarter. It is still 6-4 Gilman. Both of these defenses and goalkeepers have really just locked things down. Of course, you can tell just how much is on the line here in this MIAA Conference first round postseason matchup. Russell, he shoots, and that goes wide. Of course, this is the 8 versus 9 seeds. Both these teams had 3 wins in conference play this year. St. Paul's 3-6, Gilman 3-7. That's why St. Paul's gets the edge and allowed to host this game. The winner travels to top-seeded 10-0 McDonough on Saturday in the quarterfinal round. Justin Brown into the game. He dishes it off. That shot goes wide, and it stays with St. Paul's with 45 to shoot. Just shot after shot from the Crusaders, but no goals to show for it recently. Jacob Natoli up top. That shot, save made by Morris. Kyle Morris locked in right now in the crease for Gilman. And a clearance here from Remy Reynolds. Here's Rory Calhoun, he'll give it up to Wallison. Under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, still goalless in this third period on both sides. Back to Charlie Pope. We haven't heard much from him today. He's still without a goal, the senior Vermont commit. Big physical body. Goes on Ridgely. Works past him. Behind the cage. 30 to shoot for Pope. Pope. So physical in there, and now he has to dish it off. They go up top. Wallison. Now 20 to shoot. Wallison on Ridgely. Gets the switch. Now working against Owen Heyer, who he's already beat once today for a goal. Dishes it back. And now that shot goes home. No, it's into the side netting for Wilkerson. Thought Wilkerson might have given his team a 3-goal lead, but it's into the side netting, no goal. And St. Paul's picks it up. And we now have under a minute to play in period number 3. Shot clock not a factor anymore, as the game clock reads about 50 and the shot clock about 60. Jake Baer through 3 defenders, and then he turns it over. And a whistle. It goes against Gilman on an interference call, and it's back to St. Paul's.
Call against Gilman.
So St. Paul's can hold for the final shot of the period if they'd like to here in the third. Trailing 6-4 with 30 seconds to go in quarter number 3. Jake Baer looking for shooting space. Now Chismar. Chismar goes right, gets a little bit of space. It's been the case all day for St. Paul's. They get a little bit of space, then a Gilman defender just clogs it right up. Chismar, one-on-one, spinning, shooting, another save from Morris. 10 seconds to go in the period. Gilman the other way. 4 seconds. One final opportunity, and they're not going to get a shot off, as that will do it in the third quarter. These defenses and goalkeepers are putting on a show. Neither team scored in that third quarter. Just 12 minutes of lacrosse left here from Tullai Field. Our score is Gilman 6 and St. Paul's 4. We'll be back for the fourth. Do not move a muscle. So the next 12 minutes, potentially, we could find out who will take on McDonough in the quarterfinal round of the MIAA Conference playoffs here in the 2021 season. Connor Newcomb back here with you from Tullai Field. Our scores, we start the fourth quarter. The 9th-seeded Gilman Greyhounds 6 and the 8th-seeded St. Paul's Crusaders 4. Neither team scored a goal in that entire third quarter, and neither team has a goal since about midway through the second quarter. We've been sitting on a 6-4 scoreline for a long, long time here. It was 3-3 after one. It was 6-4 Gilman at halftime. And that is where we remain. St. Paul's had a lot of good chances. They really dominated the third, but just did not score. And now that pass dropped in front. Brody Atkinson, had he caught it cleanly, would have had a good chance to make it 6-5. But St. Paul's so many shots, but Kyle Morris, must have been close to double-digit saves in just that third quarter alone in goal for the Greyhounds. He was magnificent. And Gilman's going to turn it back over. They've had trouble clearing here in this second half. No, we'll stay with Gilman, my mistake. The Greyhounds will keep that possession. They'll throw it long. It's another big ground ball, and it's scooped up there by the Crusaders. So Gilman does, in fact, eventually turn it over as Gavin Clary came up with it. So a minute into this fourth, another chance for St. Paul's to cut it to one. Been saying that for a long time now here in this game, as we've sat on 6-4. It's becoming hard to picture the last goal that was scored. It was a dandy from Noah Chismar, but it's been a while. Smythe working right and fires high. Smythe's been a little off. He's taken a lot of shots in this second half, but not many of them have been on cage. He's missed high a good amount of times. As it'll stay with St. Paul's with 45 to shoot. St. Paul's, to really get a goal here and stop this goalless streak, they might need Chismar to do what he did on their last goal, which was just work his way through three defenders and score a pretty goal right on top of the crease. And he started it from that goal line extended spot here on this near side. Now they got some space for Bear, and he fires wide. That was a pretty good chance for the Crusaders. This is the defense you play on both sides when you do not want your season to end, especially for these seniors on both teams. First round of the playoffs here from Tullai Field. Loser goes home. Winner gets McDonough, and another save made by Kyle Morris. And now here comes Rory Calhoun. Can he stop the Gilman goalless drought? In front, fired, and a goal. There's number one on the day for Charlie Pope. And for the first time, since early in the second quarter, Gilman has gotten one past Max Watkinson, and it's a 7-4 Greyhounds lead. Pope, the senior Vermont commit, has really been trying to play bully ball in the offensive end so far today, but finally he's able to put one home. St. Paul's with a chance to answer potentially. Keegan Tracy able to give it up, and it will stay with St. Paul's. Noah Chismar high-stepping his way in, gives it up to Clark. Clark with some power, and he fires it home. Cade Clark just muscles his way in, and then the finesse to go low to high, and he snaps St. Paul's goalless drought. So maybe it just took one goal from one side to get the other side amped up as well, and we are right back to a 2-goal game. Cade Clark, the junior, with his second goal today, and it's Gilman 7 and St. Paul's 5 with 8:57 to play in this one. And the sophomore Daniel Davis wins another face-off for the Crusaders. Can they finally cut it to one? Remember, they did lead this game 3-2 at one point back late in the first quarter. Smythe with some space, fakes a pass, feeds behind the cage. They go up top. Klausner spinning, and now he'll back it out with 40 to shoot. Klausner goes right, tries a bounce shot. It trickles home. That ball was across the goal line, and Braden Klausner's got himself his second goal of the day, and finally St. Paul's has cut this thing to 1. It's Gilman 7 and the Crusaders 6. So Klausner with his first of the day as he buries one home to make it 7-6. The junior Braden Klausner with a huge goal and a huge face-off win as Ridgely comes away with it for St. Paul's. And for the first time in quite a while, the Crusaders have a chance to tie this game with a goal. But Ridgely has it checked out of his stick. Great defending there by Warry Calhoun, the D-midi for Gilman. So the Greyhounds get it back. St. Paul's had all the momentum there, but just couldn't get it into their offensive zone. Dangerous pass there. They threw it away, and it's back to St. Paul's. Up to Clary. He dishes it ahead for David Ridgely. Senior D-midi on this team. Now with just about 7 minutes to go, it's Gilman 7 and St. Paul's 6. Can the Crusaders tie it up? Klausner had a little bit of space, decided against it, backs it out to Chismar as they'll get Cade Clark into the game. Chismar wants to go one-on-one. Working against Calhoun, he goes left, gives it up. Bear with some space, Bear shoots and it hit off the crossbar. It'll stay with St. Paul's though with a brand new 80 seconds. That was a nice set play. A little pick and pop almost there for the Crusaders. Chismar taking a lot of contact, but he's able to hold on to the ball and dish it off for Bear. Clark looking for the hat trick. Broke the ankles, gives it up. Atkinson, now Klausner gets hit to the turf. Ball loose. Big ground ball right here. And St. Paul's, I think, got the timeout, and they did. 6:07 to go in the fourth quarter. You do not want to get up from your seat right now. We got a great finish coming when we come back. .607 to go in this one. MIAA first round playoff matchup. Connor Newcomb with you live from Tullai Field. As our score is Gilman 7 and St. Paul's 6. The Crusaders, Trey Whitty right on top of things with a key timeout to keep the St. Paul's possession with a full shot clock. Natoli gives it up to Smythe, and now they go behind the cage. Up top for Cade Clark, looking for the hat trick. Clark fires and scores! It's the Cade Clark show today from Tullai Field. The junior's got a hat trick, 3 goals in a row for the Crusaders, and we're all knotted up at 7 with 5:52 to go. Cade Clark been a little quiet offensively over the last couple of weeks. That has not been the case today. He's got a hat trick, and he's tied this game at 7 as J.J. Brummett comes away with the faceoff, and Gilman will get a chance to take the lead back. What a battle this has turned into. After no goals in the third quarter from either side, Gilman has 1 and St. Paul's has 3 so far here in the fourth, and we're knotted at 7. Good crowd here at Tullai Field. Gilman and St. Paul's fans and students all into this one. As the loser goes home, the winner goes to the quarterfinal, takes on top-seeded McDonough. Ridgely able to poke it away from Wallison, but he picks it back up, and now there's 25 to shoot. Move made by Jake Tompkins. We haven't called his name too many times today. Now Pope looking for space, working against Heyer. Gives it up for Brody. Now Wallison with 12 to shoot. Wallison goes right, gets some space and bounces it. A save is made by Watkinson. St. Paul's chucks it up ahead. Able to scoop up the ground ball. Extra pass. Save made by Morris. Huge stop as he denies Brody Atkinson. This place would have exploded if Atkinson had beaten Morris there to give his team the lead. And now it's Chase Brody just muscling his way into that clearance for Gilman. 4 minutes to go, we're still knotted up. Clayton Badley behind the goal. And John Nostrant will call a Gilman timeout.
Gilman.
4:02 to go. Greyhounds 7, Crusaders 7. We'll decide a winner when we come back. Come out of a Gilman timeout. 4:02 to play in this first round postseason matchup between Gilman and St. Paul's. Connor Newcomb here with you from Tullai Field. It's been a great one. 7-7 is our score with under 4 to go. Tucker Hebert finding space. They give it up top to the freshman Jay Wilkerson. Comes from a lacrosse family. His dad played at Maryland in the late 80s. Jay trying to continue the stretch of Wilkerson's heading to the D1 level. He's got a bright future ahead of him and has one goal already today. He'd love to score the go-ahead goal. Hebert just shrugging off the hits there. Pass took a deflection and a flag flies, and it's going to go against St. Paul's. So with 3:20 to go in this one, just for the second time today, Gilman will go a man up. They scored on their first chance, on their first goal of the day, way back in quarter number 1. They'll get another chance right here. Keegan Tracy, who took that first penalty back in the first quarter, he'll go back into the sin bin for 1 minute here, as Gilman has a chance to take the lead back. They had a 7-4 lead. St. Paul's has scored 3 in a row to tie it here in the fourth. Tompkins, Wilkerson, and they go behind the cage. They got the brand new shot clock to work with as well. Shot deflected before it got in on goal, and it's picked up by Pope. He got his own rebound. Hebert behind the cage. They go up top. Now it's Wilkerson. They go back to Hebert. Gilman taking its time here on the 1 minute penalty. Wilkerson, tough catch, fires, and the save was knocked down. Didn't make it in on goal. It was picked up back there by the senior defender, Jake Moore, but he threw it away. Moore, the Dickinson commit, just couldn't hold on to it long enough, and it goes back to Gilman with a new shot clock. Wilkerson, penalty time is over. St. Paul's at even strength now. They killed off the penalty to keep this thing tied with just over 2 minutes to go. Hebert against Moore, a couple of seniors. Hebert gets in front and fires it out to Wallison. Wallison gets to his right, decides against the shot. Now Jake Tompkins, another senior. Wilkerson looking for space. Wilkerson working against Nate Livingston. Now Hebert, 35 to shoot for Gilman. 1:40 to go in the game. Here's Pope. Can he bully his way in? Pope feels the double, gets through it. Now triple teamed for a moment. Goes behind the cage, pass knocked down, deflected up in the air by Heyer. 18 to shoot as Gilman picks it up, and John Nostrant wants another timeout. So the Gilman head coach uses his final timeout. 1:22 to play. 17 on the shot clock for Gilman as they try to break the tie when we come back. One minute, 22 seconds to go in this one from Tullai Field. Our score is Gilman 7 and St. Paul's 7. As here in this one, 17 on the shot clock for Gilman, coming out of their head coach John Nostrand, his second season, calling timeout. And now St. Paul's with a bit of a complaint here. He's maybe looking for too many men on the field call. But the shot clock will be reset to the 17 seconds it was on before we started play here. And the game clock reads a minute and 20 seconds here for Gilman. We're all tied up. Connor Newcomb here with you at Tullai Field. We thank you so much for watching. Should be a great finish in this MIAA A Conference first round boys lacrosse playoff matchup between the 8 and 9 seeds. Again, the winner takes on top-seeded McDonough in the quarterfinal round on Saturday. So they reset the clocks. And we're off. 14 to shoot. Looking for space, shot fired wide. It'll stay with Gilman, but they have only 8 ticks on the shot clock. We'll see how quickly they can go. Charlie Pope will start with the possession. Again, 8 to shoot. Pope working against his man one-on-one. Goes around the opposite side, turns, shoots, hit off the post, and it's picked up by Keegan Tracy. Shot clock no longer a factor. Under a minute to go, we're tied at 7. Ridgely brings it across, and St. Paul's could take the final shot if they so choose. And Trey Whitty is going to call up a play. 48.7 seconds to go. St. Paul's will try to win it and head to the quarterfinal round when we return. So we've got 48.7 seconds to go in this one. Connor Newcomb back here with you from Tullai Field on the campus of the St. Paul's School. First round playoff action in the MIAA Conference. It's a 7-7 score. The shot clock is off. It will not be a factor. With 48.7 seconds to go, the St. Paul's Crusaders have the possession. They've scored the last 3 goals in this game to tie this thing at 7, and now they potentially have a chance to win it here on the home field and advance to the quarterfinal round. Would be a game against top-seeded McDonough on Saturday. It's Michael Smythe out top. He's got 2 goals already today. He's working on Rory Calhoun. Smythe goes left, 20 seconds to go. Gives it up to Bear. Bear working one-on-one against Sean Collins. Now it's over to Chismar. Chismar with 11. Turning, spinning. He gets hit hard. No flag flies and the ball's loose. 5 seconds now. Gilman feeds it ahead. 1 second, fired wide. And we are heading to overtime from Tullai Field as the St. Paul's player who took that shot, Noah Chismar, very slow to get up on the other end. He is up on his feet and heading towards the sideline, but he looks like he's in a lot of discomfort. But either way, we go to overtime, tied at 7. Sudden victory when we come back. Sudden victory overtime coming at you from Tullai Field on the campus of St. Paul's. The Crusaders and the Greyhounds tied up at 7. Connor Newcomb with you here from Tullai Field. We thank you so much for tuning in. Sudden victory overtime. 4 minutes on the clock. The first team to score wins it and heads to the quarterfinal round to take on McDonough. Gilman has the opening face-off win here in overtime, and they're going to pull it out as J.J. Brummett comes away with it. Their senior Fogo gets the biggest win at the dot for him here in this 2021 season. Gilman has only 1 goal in the last 2.5 quarters. It came from Charlie Pope in the 4th that made it a 7-4 game. St. Paul's ended the game on a 3-0 run to send it to overtime. Chase Brody fumbled that pass initially. Halfway through the shot clock here as Gilman still has the possession. Jay Wilkerson gives it up, found Brody, fires, and it's in the side netting. Gilman thought they had won it, at least the fan section did, but it was in the side netting. And here comes St. Paul's. And now they will set their offense with 2:50 to go in the OT period. Brody Atkinson gonna give it up. And here go the Crusaders. Such a tough finish to their regular season, lost 3 in a row. Natoli backs it out. They lost to this Gilman team 11-5 on this same field just 6 days ago. Smythe fires, save made. Kyle Morris with a stop, and each team comes up empty on their first offensive possession of overtime. And now Remy Reynolds gonna try to clear it for Gilman. He gives it up to Ethan Villamater, now up to Pope, and Gilman has its second opportunity to win this first round game. We are halfway through the first overtime period. 2 minutes to go in OT, 7-7. The first goal wins it here in overtime. It's Jake Tompkins and John Nostrand wants timeout. 1:53 to go in OT. Gilman with a ball with a chance to win when we come back shortly.
Gilman.
So Gilman has the possession coming out of the timeout. 1:53 to go in our first overtime period. Connor Newcomb here from Tullai Field. Sudden victory overtime here at the St. Paul's School in the 8-9 first round matchup in the MIAA A Conference playoffs. Gilman and St. Paul's all tied at 7, and the Greyhounds have the possession with 48 on the shot clock, with a chance to win it right here if they can put one past the goalkeeper, Max Watkinson. Here's Wallison working on Heyer. He goes right. He's beaten Heyer for a goal already once in this matchup. Now it's Jake Tompkins. Had a pretty quiet day on the offensive end. Working against David Ridgely, the senior defender. A couple of four-year guys battling it out with 25 to shoot. Here's Tompkins, spinning, goes right. And now he'll dish it off behind the cage. 15 on the shot clock now. Hebert in front, turns, Hebert open, lost it. It's loose in front of the crease. 4 seconds to shoot. Wilkerson with 2. Wallison, shot clock violation. And the St. Paul's defense holds once again. Thought Tucker Hebert, who hasn't scored today after having a hat trick in this matchup on this field last Friday, thought he was going to get a wide open shot on the doorstep, but he just lost the possession. It got kicked around, and the shot clock ran out. So now the shot clock will no longer be a factor as we're under a minute to go in the first overtime period. St. Paul's almost turns it over. It's right at Ridgely's feet. He doesn't know where the ball is. This is a huge ground ball in this game. Still loose. And Pope's got it. But now we'll get a whistle. Game clock reads 41.9 seconds here in the first OT period. And it's going to stay with Gilman. But they did have to stop it. So it'll be Greyhounds possession again. Shot clock is off. As Charlie Pope, the senior leader, does not want to see his Greyhounds career end right here. Pope going one-on-one. Gets some space, fires wide. Had a good shot to win it. It'll stay with the Greyhounds, though, with 30.5 seconds remaining. As Pope was looking for the winner, and honestly, he had a pretty good chance at it. It'll be Hebert versus Livingston behind the goal as the clock starts again. Hebert with some space. Gives it up. Low shot, save made by Watkinson. And St. Paul's comes away with it with Nate Livingston. Let's see if the Crusaders try to push it with just 10 seconds. One final chance in the first OT period. All the way to the other end. Atkinson shoots. It's in! It's in! It's in! At the buzzer! Brody Atkinson! And St. Paul's wins it at the buzzer! Unbelievable! The sophomore Brody Atkinson, who has been a non-factor on offense all day, just scored the biggest goal of his life as the ball went into the net as the buzzer sounded. And that's your ball game. St. Paul's stays alive, and the Crusaders win it 8-7 and advance to the quarterfinal round of the MIAA A Conference playoffs. Brody Atkinson, just as the clock was running down in this first overtime period, bounces one past the goalkeeper, Kyle Morris, who has been so good all day for Gilman. And St. Paul's, who trailed 7-4 in the fourth quarter, comes back to win this game in overtime by a score of 8-7. We thank you so much for watching an incredible game here from Tullai Field in the A Conference first round. Thanks to our entire crew here from St. Paul's. And one more time, I'm Connor Newcomb signing off from Tullai Field. Brody Atkinson scores the OT winner at the buzzer. And your final score, St. Paul's 8 and Gilman 7. The Crusaders are moving on to the quarterfinal round. We thank you so much for watching and enjoy your weekend.